Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is September the 20th, 2023. You know what that means. It's time to shake, rattle, and hum. So get you a little of this coffee here, a little Java, Papa Bear cup. Get your Bible. We're going to open it to 2 Samuel chapter 3. 2 Samuel chapter 3 as we get ready for the morning word. So let me see if I can get you guys dialed up here this morning. All right, let me see here. There we go. Expand, swipe. Hey, Tammy Hollahan, what's going on? Tess and Jana. Good morning, good morning. This Chris said, let's go. Hey, Robin, Victory, Juliet, good morning. How are y'all? Desiree, time to rise and shine, little darling, little darling. Doug Jones, Kim Barnett, good morning. Hope everyone, hey, listen, guys, if you haven't been outside yet, it's cooler, praise God, as it has been, but the humidity's lower. It's getting right, baby. We like it. Hey, Brandy. Hey, Mike. Brandy, I got to talk to your daddy a good long while last night. He'll be on here. He's the mayor of Smith Acres. He was visiting incognito around the ball fields last night. Hey, Tina. Hey, Rhonda. He didn't bring his entourage. He didn't want to draw attention to himself. Hey, Elaine, and hey, Sherry. Hey, Gail. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Roll Tide. Yeah, how about that? Roll Tide. Hey, Sharon Shirley. Chuck Hassel, what's going on, my man? Hey, Kim. Congratulations. I saw on Facebook, didn't one of your boys get married? I think that's it. What's up, Al? Hey, Nick. Hey, Nick, I didn't mean to send you that text last night. I'm sure you can see that. Hey, Joe. Greetings. Wade Hamner, my brother, and Camellia. Good morning. Miss Stacy, Miss Patricia Stacy. Well, there's Michelle. What's going on, Michelle? You sitting on the porch looking out over the horses, or do y'all still have some, or did y'all get rid of them? Hope all is well in Coker. Hey, Gail. Hey, Joe Perkins. Natalie Skelton. Y'all are some good people. Hey, Cheryl, down in Pickens County in Goddo, Alabama. EJ, almost time for the roundup. Hey, Dennis, you too, buddy. Yeah, Joe's going to go ahead. Joe is going to go ahead and get all of her welcomings and greetings out of the way. She said, happy Halloween, happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and all that wrapped into one. Hey, Brenda Mills and Heather Sanders. Good morning to you, Heather. Yes, sir. You too. Eric, you at the Mustang? Hey, Rhonda Freeman. Good morning to you. Monty, good morning to you. And Julie. Yes, sir, it is. You got to, come on, Bobby. Supposed to be ready already. All right. Lisa Pennington, who is not married to Jim. Praise God. That's not such a bad thing, Lisa. If Jim's on here, he'd tell you the same thing. Hey, Diane. Hey, Susan Raymond. Susan, that's a new name. Jim Mathis, you haven't been on here too much. Good to see you. I don't know you exactly, but welcome to you and Susan for being on here this morning. Hey, we ask that you share this, guys. We appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for being with us. We're getting ready to get started, so get your coffee cup. There he is. Hey, Daryl. Any time is better than no time, brother. You're dragging up the backside of this list. Hey, Tolu. Good morning to you. Hey, Carol. Here we go. Toast to the morning word crowd. God bless you. God bless America. Here we go. All righty. Here we go. Yeah, that's a good thing for her, Jim. I told her. All right. A shout out and a thank you to our school teachers, to our police officers, firefighters. 2 Samuel chapter 3. Let me give you the background. So, Saul has been killed in battle, and now David has been on the lam with his crew, and and God has set him up over the southern kingdom, but the northern kingdom still separated. What happened was David has a right-hand man, military chief personnel officer, who is Joab. King Saul had a chief military officer named Abner. And Abner, when Saul died, Saul and Jonathan died, Abner set about to do the right thing, and that is to take Saul's son Ishbosheth and to help him to ascend the throne and to keep the power in the northern kingdom of Israel, even though David was over the southern kingdom and Israel at this time was divided. Okay? Excuse me. So, Ishbosheth, Saul's son, became very, he was wishy-washy. He got his courage from other people. And he thinks that Abner is really garnering too much power to himself in this transition. And he accuses Abner of sleeping with one of Saul's, Saul's dead now, one of Saul's concubines. And that was a common activity that was carried out by people who were claiming to have right to the throne and who were trying to assert their power. Now, we have nothing in the Bible that says that that was true, and Abner refutes that vigorously and then turns to him and says, since you don't trust me, and since we know that God has spoken and saying that he is going to bless the nation of Israel through David, I'm now turning my allegiance to David to unite the kingdom. So Abner goes to David, tells him the whole situation, and David embraces him and says, don't come to see me. This is one of the caveats. He said, don't come to see me. I know you're not serious unless you bring me Michal, Saul's daughter. You remember Michal had been pledged to David by Saul if he fought the Philistine. Of course, he did and won. And of course, Saul then takes Michal back, gives her to another man. Michal never has children, but she did raise up some sons for another man who had already had some children. So Abner brings Michal, gives her to David, and they come to an agreement to unite the kingdom, and they shake hands, and it's a gentleman's agreement. And Abner's going now to garner all the support of the northern kingdom, bring them to David, and unite the kingdom, which is God's purpose. Abner knows that. Meanwhile, Joab's out of town, and when he comes back after Abner's already left, he finds out from some of David's other people that Abner had come, told David he wants to unite the kingdom, and Joab goes to the King David and said, it's a trick. He came here to talk to you, to scout out the place. His intent is to sneak in here with Ishbosheth's army, Saul's former army, and take over the kingdom. He's a traitor. David said, no, he's not. Well, Joab has an ulterior motive. Abner was the one who killed one of Joab's brothers. And it was in a legitimate fight. Joab's brother went after him, and Abner told him 2 different times while he was running, turn away from me, I don't want to kill you. Turn away from me, I don't want to kill you. Well, he just ran on in there anyway, and of course, Abner, he quit running, he turned around and killed him. So Joab does not have David's better interest at the forefront. It's taken second place to vengeance. And so let's read this. At the moment, 2 Samuel 3:22. At that moment, the servants of David and Joab came from a raid and brought much spoil with them. But Abner was not with David in Hebron, for he had sent him away, and he had gone in peace. And when Joab and all the troops that were with him had come, they told Joab, saying, Abner, the son of Ner, came to the king, and he sent him away, and he's gone in peace. Then Joab came to the king and said, what have you done? Look, Abner came to you. Why is it that you sent him away and he is already gone? Surely you realize that Abner, the son of Ner, came to deceive you, to know you're going in and coming out, and to know all that you're doing. And when Joab had gone from David's presence, he sent messengers after Abner, who brought him back from the well of Sirah. So now Joab's acting on his own. He sends word to Abner, hey, come back. But David didn't know it. Now when Abner had returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside in the gate to speak to him privately. Now the reason that's important is Hebron was considered to be a refuge city. So inside the city, by Deuteronomic law that God gave Moses, inside the city gates, Abner's safe from retribution for committing a murder, even though he killed even though he killed Joab's brother in self-defense. So Joab knows this, and he's taking him outside the city gates where it's legal to kill him. Joab took him aside in the gate to speak to him privately, and there stabbed him in the stomach so that he died for the blood of Asahel, his brother. Afterward, when David heard it, he said, "My kingdom and I are guiltless before the Lord forever for the blood of Abner, the son of Ner. Let it rest on the head of Joab and fall on his father's house and on all his father's house. And let there never fail to be in the house of Joab one who has a discharge or is a leper, who leans on a staff or falls by the sword, or who lacks bread." He wanted them to be broke, busted, sick, and disgusted the rest of their life. That was the curse. So Joab and Abishai, his brother, killed Abner because he had killed their brother, Asahel, at Gibeon in the battle. Then David said to Joab and all the people who were with him, "Tear your clothes, gird yourselves with sackcloth, and mourn for Abner." And King David followed the coffin. This is Abner's coffin. So they buried Abner in Hebron, and the king lifted up his voice and wept in the grave of Abner, and all the people wept. And the king said a lament over Abner and said, "Should Abner die as a fool dies? Your hands were not bound, nor your feet put into fetters. You were not a common criminal. As a man falls before wicked men, you fell. In other words, you died like a wicked man, and you weren't a wicked man." Then all the people wept over him again. And when all the people came to persuade David to eat food while it was still the daytime, David took an oath, saying, "God do so to me, and more also, if I taste bread or anything else till the sun goes down." David was fasting because David was truly mourning. Now all the people took note of it, and it pleased them, since whatever the king did, it pleased all the people. For all the people of Israel and all Israel understood that day that it had not been the king's intent to kill Abner, the son of Ner. In other words, they said, "We know for sure that David was not behind this. He is genuinely displeased, and he is genuinely heartbroken that this death has occurred." Now listen to this. Then the king said to his servants, "Do you not know that a prince and a great man has fallen this day in Israel?" The morning word is a great man. Abner, while aligning himself on the wrong side, was a man of integrity. In other words, Abner did not do as Joab did. He was not a vengeful man. Abner, whenever he had to kill, he was executing justice. And even when he killed Joab's brother, Asahel, in battle, he had warned him twice to turn away. He didn't want to kill him. Then Abner sees that God's intent is to unify the kingdom, and Abner goes to David and says to him, "I want to unite the kingdom. I want to bring the northern kingdom of Israel into the southern kingdom of Benjamin and Judah. I want us to unite together for the good of the kingdom. And I know God's got this plan for you, and I want to be a part of that plan." So Abner had what we call integrity. He had integrity. Now, integrity doesn't always mean that you are aligned with the right side. You can be deceived. You can have some bad information and so forth. But integrity means that whoever side you're on and whatever it is that you're doing it with the honesty of heart to yourself. You're doing it with a good conscience. You have a moral code and principle that abides within you, that even without someone else telling you what to do or when to do it and how to do it, you do it that way. You're going to do, I always say it this way, integrity of heart is a man or a woman who has a right and a wrong in their heart. And it doesn't matter what they're doing. They're gonna walk by that law that's in their heart. And it's their law to them. I'm not going to do it right because the boss is watching. I'm not going to do it right because I'm the coach. I'm not going to do it right. I'm not going to be right. I'm not going to do it right because there's some SOP or protocol at work or because people are watching. Job said it this way. Let me go to Job 36. It says I think, let me see. 31:6. Job said, "Let me be weighed on honest scales, that God may know my integrity." Integrity of heart says that, and I say this about parenting. I say this about, being over a school, a church, an entity, a business, whatever. Job said, "Put me on the scales, God, and weigh my heart. Weigh my heart." And so integrity is honesty of heart, being honest with yourself. That's integrity, being honest with yourself. There's no telling how many times, and guys, listen, that doesn't mean that we're perfect people. Doesn't mean that we fail. But David wanted Israel to know that this guy, Abner, while he was on the other side with Saul, while he was in the other kingdom, the northern one, and while he was militarily aligned against David and his people, he was still a great man because he walked by the law of his heart, and that was integrity. He wasn't wicked, he wasn't evil, he wasn't two-faced, he wasn't a backstabber, he wasn't a politician. Yeah. Pat you with this hand while he's stabbing you with this hand. And contrast Abner, who was Saul's right-hand man, and David, and with Joab, who was David's right-hand man, and you see that Abner was wanting to do what was right for the kingdom, and Joab was wanting to do what was right for Joab. And therein lies the contrast. And so David wanted to make sure, listen to me, I get every time I read this verse, I'm going to be honest with you, I had to choke back some tears a while ago. I don't know why this verse does this to me. When I read it this morning, when I was reading this story, I actually wanted to talk about Mephibosheth this morning. Maybe I'll talk about him tomorrow. And I got over on Abner. And every time I've ever read this verse, every single time, and I have no idea why, when I read that, I become tearful. Man, Abner, here's what David had to say of him. The king said to his servants, "Do you not know that a prince and a great man has fallen this day in Israel?" Here's what he was saying. Guys, you think that this was simply the opposition, that this was just a man who was aligned with Saul, who's been fighting us, and even if you don't think good riddance, you really don't grasp the kind of man this was. Now, there's been many of people that I know that have passed away. To some of them, I went to their visitations. To some, I went to their funerals, and some I went to both. But some I didn't go. And there are people all over the world today, in the United States and around us, that are dying, and we don't realize the kind of people they are. And they're walking around us, and we don't appreciate the kind of people that they are. And sadly, there's not many of them. And that's men and women of integrity. These are the people that you can do business with on a handshake. These are the people that you want around you and your children and your family. These are the people that you don't have to say, pick up the trash in the church parking lot or flush the toilet at work. And I know these are simple, minute things, or people that you can say, can you take care of the shop while I'm gone? Man, when you got somebody around you or somebody in your life that has integrity, I'm telling you, we do not appreciate it. David knew that the people around him did not appreciate the kind of man that had died that day. You know why? You know why David said that? Because there's not many of them. There's not many of them. And David was broken that such a man had perished. And he lost, he was coming into the kingdom. He was uniting the kingdom. David lost a good man. Israel lost a good man. A good man. And a good man is hard to find. A good man, a great man is hard to find. I should have put that on there instead of just a great man. Man, let me tell you something. What I want, what you want, what we all need to be is we need to be men and women of integrity. Guys, let me tell you something. When you tell somebody you're going to do it, do it. And if something comes up and you absolutely can't, let them know. But be a person of your word. Live honestly with yourself. Just go do the right thing. And do it the right way because it's the right thing. We don't have politicians leading this country like that. If there is, there's one or two of them. Go do the right thing, man. Go do the right thing because it's right. Not because it's Republican. Not because it's Democrat. Not because it's for your company or not because it's against the opposition. Go do the right thing. Go be great people. Be great. Be great people. Live with integrity. A moral code that abides in your heart that you do not violate. Abner was a great man. David was broken not only because he had lost a good man, but because the people didn't realize the kind of man that had perished. He was heartbroken because there's not many of them. And that's true today. There's just not many great men and women. Everybody wants to do what's right when it benefits them, when it helps their team, when it helps their church, when it helps their business, when it helps their side, when they can get something out of it. We see it happening right now at the University of Alabama and a lot of other football teams. They only want to do good when they can get something out of it. Why don't you just go do good? Why don't you just play hard? Why don't you play fair? And why don't you do your best? Because that's the kind of person you are. I hope somebody says that about me one day, and I hope somebody says that about you. Do you not know that a prince and a great man has fallen this day in Israel? Not many of them. Go be one. See you tomorrow.